Today we're going to introduce the prediction function within the Atlas platform. On the left-hand side you'll see a button, Prediction, and if you click on that you'll be able to explore the capabilities of creating a patient-level prediction design specification and how to generate an R study package that you will be able to study and to share with the Odyssey community. By clicking on the Prediction tab, you will be brought to a screen of all existing patient-level prediction specifications that have previously been designed within your Atlas tool. If you're interested in creating a new patient-level prediction, simply go to the top right-hand corner, blue button that says New Patient-Level Prediction. Here we can see that one patient-level prediction design has already been created, entitled Prediction of Outcomes in the 1 year following first-line monotherapy treatment for hypertension. If we click on this link, we'll be able to explore this patient-level prediction design specification. Clicking that link brings us to a screen that shows the full specification of this analysis design. And the analysis is laid out in 3 different segments. The first segment is outlining the prediction problem settings. Here, we need to specify 1 or more target cohorts representing the population at risk for which we want to predict, and the 1 or more outcome cohorts representing the outcome that we are looking for to be experienced within the target populations. Once we've specified those, we will go into our analysis settings, whereby we will select 1 or more machine learning algorithms that we can apply to the study population to try to train a model. We will specify the covariates that are used as predictors in that machine learning algorithm, and then we will specify the population settings representing the time at risk and other considerations for defining the population. From there, we will define our execution and training settings to allow the analysis to be executed. So first, let's start with the target cohorts. If we want to add a new cohort to our prediction problem, over in the top right-hand corner, we see a blue button that says Add Target Cohort. Clicking that button brings up a screen that shows you all of the cohorts that have previously been specified in your Atlas platform. Selecting one of those cohorts will add it to the list of target cohorts to be studied. Here we've defined 2 different target cohorts: new users of ACE inhibitors as first-line monotherapy for hypertension, and new users of thiazide diuretics as first-line monotherapy for hypertension. With those 2 target cohorts in mind, we will then define outcome cohorts. And here we have, to add an outcome cohort to the tool, we click the Add Outcome Cohort button, which will also bring up the cohort definition list within your tool, and you can select whichever outcomes are of interest to you. Here we've selected acute myocardial infarction events and angioedema events. Under this specification, we have now outlined that we would like to try to solve 4 patient-level prediction problems. We would like to predict angioedema amongst ACE inhibitors, predicting which patients have on thiazide diuretics also get angioedema. We'd like to predict amongst patients with thiazide diuretics who have acute myocardial infarctions, and amongst patients with ACE inhibitors who have acute myocardial infarctions. To address those questions, we need to examine our analysis settings, our models that we can choose from. Here we've selected 2 models. We've selected a lasso logistic regression and a random forest model. To choose amongst the multiple machine learning algorithms available in the Odyssey patient-level prediction package, we go over to this button that says Add Model Settings on the right-hand side, and we will see a drop-down of the various algorithms that are available today. This includes lasso logistic regression, random forest, gradient boosting machine, AdaBoost, decision tree, naive Bayes, multi-layer perception model, and k-nearest neighbors. Additional machine learning algorithms are also available in the patient-level prediction package. Selecting a model, such as logistic regression, will identify the set of additional model parameters and hyperparameters that need to be defined to execute the analysis. For each of the machine learning algorithms, they are going to be supplied a set of predictors to be used in the model, and those are specified in our covariate settings. Here, we can see the available covariates that are available for selection, and we can also specify additional features of interest. Here we've created baseline predictors for gender, age group, race, ethnicity, and index month. We've also created baseline predictors for every possible condition and every possible drug in multiple time horizons using the long-term time window of 365 days prior to entry into the target cohort and a short-term 30-day window looking prior to the target cohort. We've additionally selected predictors for procedures, measurements, observations, devices. We have a predictor based on the number of visits that have occurred, as well as predictors based on index scores such as the CHADS-2 stroke risk score, the Diabetes Complication Severity Index, and the Charlson Comorbidity Index. As a user, one can specify any and all covariates that are interested to use as potential predictors and can further include specific predictors or exclude covariates that they may not be interested in. Finally, we need to specify our population settings. Here, this is where we're defining our time at risk, which represents a span of time relative to the target cohort for which we are going to be looking for outcomes. Here we've specified a fixed time window that looks at 1 day following the target cohort start date to 365 days from the cohort start date. In other words, if we are predicting for patients who are new users of ACE inhibitors, we are going to be looking for outcomes that occur within the 1 year following the start of treatment. For these patients, we can specify a minimum look-back period that's applied to the target cohorts to ensure that patients have some prior time for which baseline predictors will be ascertained. And from there are 4 additional series of choices that need to be decided to specify the population. We need to determine should subjects without time at risk be removed. If yes, we need to specify what is that minimum time at risk that we expect people to be included in the population. Here, we are saying that patients are required to have a minimum of 364 days in order to be included in the population. We also need to determine whether or not we want to include persons with the outcome who are not observed for the whole time at risk. In other words, if a person has an outcome and is censored, do you want to count them in the data set or remove them because they have been censored? Here we are allowing those censored individuals to count because they've had the outcome. We can specify whether we are interested in only the first exposure per subject to be included in the target cohort and whether or not we should remove patients who have had the observed outcome prior to cohort entry. On the basis of those settings, we can then decide our execution settings, including determining whether or not we want to sample our target cohorts and whether or not we want to restrict covariates on the basis of their prevalence. We then need to determine how we want to do our test training split, whereby our model will be trained on some training data set and a holdout independent test set will be used to provide internal validation of the models. Here we can determine whether or not we want to do a person split or a time split to determine that test train split and determine the proportions of the population that will be used both for training and for testing. Once we've designed our full specifications, we can go over to the Utilities tab above. Once we select that, we will see that we can review and download a study package that performs our analysis. Here, we see that there are 8 different analyses that have been specified based on our selections. We had 2 different target cohorts, ACE inhibitors and thiazide diuretics. We had 2 different outcomes, acute myocardial infarction and angioedema. And we had 2 different model settings. We used a lasso logistic regression and a random forest. On the basis of that, there are 8 different configurations that we are going to train within our 1 patient-level prediction analysis. PLP video tutorial and download this R study package. Atlas will return to you a zip file that contains an entire R package, which can be immediately uploaded into RStudio, configured to point to your OMOP Common Data Model database, and then executed to return back results. In addition to using Atlas to design and generate an analysis in your local environment, you can also use Atlas to design a study and then export that study specification for use by anybody else in the Odyssey community. Simply grab this JSON specification and share it with any organization. They can import this specification into their own version of Atlas and to be able to see all of the design choices you've made and to be able to download a package and run it themselves. So that's everything for the patient level prediction function within Atlas. If you're interested in learning more about additional functions within Atlas or more about the Odyssey community, please check everything out at our website, odyssey.org.